Vola Anguela o veteronugu, ako itabua. Ako do talitaina na barong na Bula FM, nambandu na seri.
Bula, alang gonoa, ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti ni nambandu na seri.
Ni Bula binaka, nanregen go sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundu achiwe ng Bula FM nambandu na seri nusuri.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang melambasa. Do barong na Bula FM, nambandu.
Bula FM, nambandu na seri.
In the news tonight, witness claims consent in rape trial. Fiji and Australia renew relations. And later in sports, we will have all the very latest in the build-up to the Rugby World Cup.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
But first up, the Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission has declined Energy Fiji Limited's request for a 17.27% increase in the electricity tariff. After nationwide consultation and comprehensive analysis of EFL's expenditure and power development plans, the FCCC says its findings can only justify an increase of 2.74%, which is 14.53% less than EFL's request. Chief Executive Joel Abraham says for a residential customer, this increase is less than 1 cent per unit and will take effect from October 1st. Abraham says it is of utmost importance that Fijians have access to affordable electricity, and therefore, as per FCCC's due diligence, they have declined a large increase of 17.27%. Our reporter Catherine Krishna joins us live now. Catherine, what other findings did the FCCC make during its consultations?
Jackie, the Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission has thoroughly scrutinized Energy Fiji Limited's financial performance for the past 10 years, and this includes capital expenditure, operating expenditure, financial information, and this includes costs for transmission generation, distribution, retail, and future plans. The FCCC has, however, approved a minor increase of 2.74% for electricity prices, and this is 0.91 cents for domestic institutions, places of worship and public infrastructure, 1.12 cents for commercial customers, and 0.81 cents for industrial customers. And during the press conference, the FCCC Chief Executive also revealed that the last review was done 10 years ago, and going forward, the review will be conducted every 4 years. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Catherine. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission has announced a decrease in the price of motor spirit, premix, kerosene and diesel. Motor spirit has decreased from $2.18 to $2.11 per litre. Premix has decreased from $2.02 to $1.97 per litre. Kerosene has increased from $1.62 to $1.59 per litre. And diesel has decreased from $1.89 to $1.85 per litre. Chief Executive Joel Abraham says these price changes are a result of favourable movement in the international prices of petroleum products since the last quarter. Abraham, however, says they are keeping an eye on the situation in Saudi Arabia, where drone strikes on 2 oil facilities eliminated 5.7 million barrels of production over the weekend. The FCCC is also keeping an eye on the escalating tensions between the US and Iran, which could have a negative impact on global fuel prices. The new prices will come into effect from October 1st. The only defence witness in the rape trial of Aminoni Nasilasila today stated the victim had told him she consented to the pair having sexual intercourse. In the second day of the trial of former Fiji Sevens captain Isake Katunimbao took the stand at the Lautoka High Court as a defence witness after the accused exercised his right to remain silent. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
While testifying in court, Isake Katunimbao stated he only knew about Aminoni Nasilasila being arrested after his driver told him. He said after receiving the news, he decided to visit Nasilasila at the Singotoka police station and spoke to him, encouraging him to be strong and let the truth prevail. Katunimbao told the court that after the visit, he decided to have lunch in Singotoka town, where his driver suggested a restaurant where they met the complainant, who was with her cousins. According to Katunimbao, when he met the victim, he asked if she had consented to the act, to which she replied yes. He says the complainant then suggested that they go back to the police station and she would withdraw the charge. He says he took her to the police station, but the police refused to withdraw the charge. The prosecution then asked Katanimbo whether it was a coincidence he met the victim at the restaurant or did he call the victim. Katanimbo replied that he did not call her to meet at the restaurant. The prosecution then asked Katanimbo if he had called the victim to the restaurant to pressure her into withdrawing the charge, to which Katanimbo replied no. 26-year-old Nasilasila is alleged to have raped the 24-year-old woman in Olosara Singatoka on December 22nd last year. The two counsels have also given their closing submissions and the judge will sum up the case on Thursday. Philip Kasu, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama is looking forward to a new era in Fiji's relationship with Australia. After concluding his state visit in Australia yesterday, Bainimarama hopes that Australia and Fiji can eventually find more common ground in Avu Vale on the climate issue. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Coming to his last event of his official visit in Australia, Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama continues to ask for Australia to step up their climate action.
I understand that politics is the art of the possible. I understand the depth of feeling in coal-producing communities in Australia and the wider economic imperatives at state and federal level. But I also hope that we can eventually find more common ground in our Vuvale partnership on the climate issue.
Bainimarama says Australia and Fiji are good mates and sometimes they will have their differences. He says right now they may have varied level of ambition when it comes to confronting the threat of climate change.
We naturally want Australia to join us in stepping up our collective response to the climate threat. And this includes putting the IPCC report back on the agenda at COP25 in Chile.
Fiji is currently finalizing a comprehensive climate change act which in part draws on much of Australia's experience in developing emission reduction projects. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama was hosted last night by the Fijian community in Canberra, where he broke down the benefits of Fiji's newest Vuvale partnership with Australia. Bainimarama says in his meeting with Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison, he raised the issue of the import restrictions on kava and discussions on the Australian visa process. Ali Kimbia has more.
Speaking to the Fijian community in Canberra, Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama revealed some good news about kava restrictions.
And before anyone asks, yes, I did raise the issue of the import restriction on kava for Fijians traveling to Australia. I'm expecting we'll get an answer on that when Prime Minister Morrison returns to Fiji next month.
Bainimarama thanked the community for their warm welcome and he outlines how Fiji and Australia's partnership will strengthen regional security, trade, people-to-people linkages. He says also part of the discussion with Morrison was the visa process for Fijians in Australia.
This advance has taken us closer to securing equitable visa-free access for Fijians in a number of countries, including here in Australia. I raised that very issue today in my meeting with Mr. Morrison. Frankly, the biggest hurdle we face in that effort are overstayers in Australia, some of whom are needlessly demanding protection visas.
The Prime Minister added that he still expects Australia and every nation on earth to seek greater ambition in their commitments under the Paris Agreement. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Up ahead, FIU begins on-site inspections and moms to set up resource centre. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Financial Intelligence Unit has so far inspected 22 businesses for compliance with anti-money laundering laws. The FIU has mainly focused on commercial banks, but Director Razim Baksh says they're now widening their net to ensure there are no loopholes for criminals to exploit. Edwin Nund reports.
Businesses such as law firms, accounting firms and real estate agencies handle large sums of cash, often in a single transaction.
Law firms, accounting firms and real estate agents were not given that importance because we're trying to have these sectors thoroughly covered under our compliance framework. Since last year, we have began on-site inspections of the law firms, accounting firms and real estate agents.
Compliance hasn't been as effective as the authorities had hoped, so officers are now going through the books of these entities to ensure there are no leakages. 22 firms have been inspected, but the FIU has a long list to go through.
All the sectors, including banks and non-banks and lawyers, accountants, they know that they are required to report suspicious clients and suspicious transactions. They are doing that. But the manner and the level of that reporting is not as we would expect.
The Real Estate Agents Licensing Board and the FIU have signed a deal to share resources and prevent criminals from using realtors to launder money.
If you see real estate, people invest a lot of money in real estate. And cases where people wish to move their money from one place to another, from one country to another, they thought or they are using real estate.
The FIU last year exposed $175 million in tainted proceeds. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
The 12 landowning units of Nriketi and Madawata have received a payout of over $25,000 for harvesting their mahogany. The landowners have formed a company which is now contracted by the Fiji Hardwood Corporation Limited to harvest mahogany from their own plantations. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Nriketi Mahogany Landowners Company Limited was formed in June 2018 for the sole purpose of harvesting their own mahogany, something that would otherwise be done by sawmillers.
What they have planted, we want them to harvest themselves and earn more money.
Fiji Hardwood Corporation Limited pays $70 per cubic meter of mahogany harvested. The $25,336 payment is only for the first 2 weeks of harvest.
All the 12 land-owning units, they are all shareholders into this Nriketi Mahogany Landowners Company. So it goes into a trust fund, which will, it's shared, to the land-owning units.
The payout is for about 400 cubic meters of mahogany harvested, which belongs to one of the 12 Matangalis, Matangali Natalao. They have 126 hectares of matured mahogany, which will take about 3 years to harvest.
For this 126 hectares alone, we're looking at almost 20,000 of volume.
The 12 land-owning units have over 500,000 hectares of mahogany ready for harvest.
Which, if I'll summarize it to by the year end, they should be getting in 12 months around $600,000 from Fiji Hardwood for harvesting of the mahogany's own self.
Aside from the harvest payout, the landowners also receive stumpage fee, land management fee, and lease money. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
The case of a 34-year-old farmer of Naitasiri charged with murder has been further remanded. Luke Nasetava made his first appearance at the Suva High Court today. Prosecution sought 21 days' time to file information and disclosures. Nasetava has been charged with murder for allegedly stabbing his partner multiple times, resulting in her death in Rona Street, Walu Bay. It's alleged that on 31st August, the accused attacked the victim, Amelia Murphy, with a knife at her workplace. The case will be recalled on October 17th. The Ministry of Moms, an informal group led by mothers and parents lobbying for better awareness of hard drugs, is now working towards the establishment of a resource centre. Moms founder Ilana Kaloni Singer says they have an action plan in progress, and one of their goals is a safe place where school students can drop in. Maggie Boyle reports.
It's a parent thing, it's not just...
The mums are running with the momentum of not only raising awareness of hard drugs, but opening up a safe space soon for kids.
Yeah, so we'd love to have an open space, a drop-in centre for our youths and primary school up, a place where they can come and perhaps get help with their homework, they can come and do arts programs, music programs that'd be free.
One of the concerns mums is also addressing are claims that taxi drivers have been involved in the sale of drugs.
We're really looking forward to the Taxi Association doing a national investigation because this is a community effort in the fight against methamphetamines.
President for the Fiji Taxi Association, Robin Singh, says it's an issue they discussed at their annual general meeting held on Sunday.
Only please explain to the drivers how to behave and what to do and how to drive and what you're supposed to do, not supposed to carry drugs or anything like that. You're supposed to know anything wrong. You have to give the complaint to nearest police station in Fiji.
Meanwhile, the mums will hold their next meeting, which is open to the public, on the 28th of this month at the Fiji Museum. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
And it's business time now with Koroi.
Thank you, Jackie. Coming up, Rugby World Cup fever continues to spread. And in growing Fiji, work on Westpac Fiji's super branch begins. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सब मिर्ची FM सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's #1.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है। हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग खाली मिर्ची FM सुनता। गौल टाउन तावा में मिर्ची FM दागो मामा।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Splitting business, rugby fever is not only limited to adults, but is now spreading amongst the kids, even toddlers, as their parents buy them branded apparel to instill the spirit of supporting Fiji. With a couple of days until the 2019 Rugby World Cup, the focus is now being directed towards kids getting into the hype. Kritika Kumar has more.
The increasing demand from parents has prompted S. Nagindas to retail Fiji rugby merchandise for toddlers.
This is something new we are doing for the passion of rugby within kids. We have seen that the sales has increased. From the past 4 years, we have seen positive response for the product, and there's a lot of demand for this as parents want their kids to grow up with this passion and with the spirit for Fiji.
Vulawate, father of a 4-month-old, says he always wanted to see his son dressed in a Fiji rugby merchandise.
I've got a son and he's 4 months old, and I want to support the Fiji team as well. So I bought this Fiji rugby for him for this World Cup.
A proud Fijian mother says kids at a young age develop passion for rugby. Therefore, buying them apparel is a must.
Just to support, because the World Cup is coming, just to support the Fiji team and wear any of your items that are selling here.
The apparels are one way of making your kids feel close to our national sport, rugby. And with World Cup around the corner, this is one unique way of showing your support for the Fiji team. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Sunifa from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the money world.
Looking at the latest in the money market, oil exporter currencies held firm, while the US dollar found broad support as recent attacks on Saudi oil facilities and the threat of military action in the region kept crude prices elevated. Another factor boosting the greenback was some hope in advance of the US Federal Reserve's 2-day policy meeting. Traders widely expect the Fed will cut interest rates by 0.25 percentage point this week. Meanwhile, consumer confidence in New Zealand slipped to 103.1 from 103.5 in this third quarter. While households are more optimistic about their personal financial situation, they have become increasingly downbeat about the overall economic outlook. That's all for today from HFC Bank, Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. As the confusion on foreign exchange markets continues, the effect on the Fiji dollar was mixed. The Sangamoli was on the rise against the New Zealand dollar, the euro and the Japanese yen, but showed some slippage against the other currencies we cover. On the commodities market, with the current tension over the attacks on Saudi Arabian refineries, the price of crude oil continued its rise to just under $62 per barrel. Meanwhile, the pressure eased somewhat on gold, which fell slightly to close at $1,499, and silver closed down at $17.84 per ounce. In growing Fiji, work on Westpac Fiji's super branch at Garden City, Suva has begun. The super branch will open early next year and will be the first of its kind in Fiji. Westpac Chief Executive Kip Hanna says they've been getting ideas from the team and from customers about what they need to work on. Hanna says the branch will have a 24/7 business express deposit machine, cash and coin change machine for business customers, as well as self-service or self-assisted digital channels to enable simple customers' activities along with wheelchair accessibility access. Westpac Fiji decided on Garden City as a site because it will give its customers 2 premium banking options in Suva. Meanwhile, Westpac has been named Australia's most sustainable bank in 2019 Dow Jones Sustainability Reports. That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Corey, and good evening in Sports Tonight. The latest ahead of the Rugby World Cup. And big screen to be up at Churchill Park this weekend. Listen more after the break.
Natango meria maramani waya manatuya sawa weti gitu tunde nandi ya undo marata kana baronga na radio Fiji-1.
Yawa asna vatili yawa maga Monica. Tondo baronga vale bunar domai biti lambasa.
Bula natango aprosa ngarse ngor kraki do televe na baronga na radio Fiji-1 na domai biti.
Natango tsani bukia ngoni na mosi ando taleta kana baronga na radio Fiji-1 na domai biti su.
Radio Fiji-1 na domai.
Flying Fijians coach John McKee is keeping things simple ahead of the Rugby World Cup opener against the Wallabies on Saturday. McKee says they're looking forward to their first match and have high ambitions for this World Cup. The national coach adds a lot of test match rugby now is contested in close quarters, and it's going to be a big game for both teams at the gain line in both attack and defense. He also stresses for the Flying Fijians it'll be a game of limited opportunities, and it'll be imperative to turn each one that comes their way into points. Now, if you're thinking of watching the Fiji Airways draw at Churchill Park in Lautoka on Saturday, but you're worried you'll miss the Flying Fijians in action against the Wallabies, the Fiji Rugby Union may have a solution for you. Aquila Dama with the details.
It will be a double treat for rugby fans at Churchill Park, as you can watch the Fiji Ndrua at 2 p.m. and the Flying Fijians against the Wallabies at 4:45 p.m. But how, one may ask?
In terms of fan engagement, we are waiting the arrival of a big screen from New Zealand. We hope to set it up before the game on Saturday.
But the big screen will not only be used this week.
That big screen will be kept in Lautoka, and but because the Churchill Park main field is being used by Fiji Football for Oceania, we'll turn the big screen towards the Carnival Parks and members of the public, all World Cup rugby matches. The screen will be up until the World Cup.
FBC Sports spoke to some fans in Lautoka today about the idea.
I come with my family, whole family, and watch the game. Rugby Fiji, I cheer Fiji.
Yes, I'm excited. I'll come and watch Fiji and Wallabies here.
I'm aware of the big screen that's going to be put up here, and I'll be coming down to watch Fiji's first match here.
Yes, I'm aware of the big screen, and I'm going to bring my family and we're going to cheer.
What makes it even more special this week is Western fans can enjoy the Sugar Festival while cheering for the Flying Fijians. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Well, Genya and Nick White are in a unique position in the Wallabies World Cup squad, knowing that unless injury strikes, they will be part of every match day in this Rugby World Cup. While the attention for local fans may be on Fiji and Australia on Saturday, there's another big game happening at the World Cup that evening. Defending and 3-time champion, the All Blacks take on twice winners, the Springboks. With 20 teams and 48 matches to be played across the Rugby World Cup, there's no shortage of excitement and anticipation in Japan. The event is anticipated to inject just over $3 billion into the Japanese economy. And weather could play a crucial part in this year's Rugby World Cup, with teams going to great lengths to prepare for Japan's hot, humid and rainy conditions. The comfort and welfare of players and supporters is one thing, but if torrential rain, which is forecasted this weekend, should see a match abandoned, then that will have real consequences. The Fiji Rugby Under-18 team will travel to New Zealand this week to take on the Under-18 Maori All Blacks. Made up of boys from schools across Fiji that stood out during the Dean's competition, Coach Masi Sanganavere has reiterated to his players they are now national reps. The team has been training together for 4 weeks and leave for New Zealand on Friday.
We are working on our combinations, and hopefully before we go into our first game on Sunday, we might have the best combination that we can get out from this 30-member squad.
That's it from sports. In Weird and Wonderful later on, a few tips to maintain a work-life balance. That's coming up.
रहता है हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हर तक सुनता है, बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोचक सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नायक है, गोंगो लेबू लटो का रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नाकाफी में रहता है।
Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. After rounds of wet weather over the past week, a lot of us finally had the time to enjoy outdoors. Now, since it's quite cool, this pattern will offer us an opportunity to turn off air conditioners and open up the windows, with the nights being much more comfortable for sleeping. Now, to the west, no rain has fallen, so this dry weather is likely to continue. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Siva, weather is overcast with light showers possible. Expect a cold night. And up north, clear conditions in the bag. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 8:42 tonight with low tide at 2:54 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6 a.m. For tomorrow, more finer, less sunny spells in the bag. Tomorrow's temps, the west will be warm with highs of 32 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, great weather is more likely to be in our favor. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, what other nations, apart from Fiji, do you support at the Rugby World Cup?
I support Wallabies because they opened the World Cup with Fiji and my brother in Australia.
The team I support is Fiji and Wallabies.
I'll cheer for Fiji and my second team is New Zealand.
Okay, I'll cheer for Fiji and All Blacks.
My second team is France.
My second team is Australia.
My second team is New Zealand.
My second team is Australia. Cheering for the New Zealand All Blacks. I always like how they play.
South Africa is my second team in the Rugby World Cup because they display a good level of speed and defense.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, witness claims consent in rape trial. Fiji and Australia renew relations. And later in sports, we will have all the very latest in the build-up to the Rugby World Cup. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Our poll question this week, we're asking, should Tier 2 rugby nations be given more top-level international matches every year? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, all the way from Japan. Japanese fans, including a number of youngsters, have been following our flying Fijians everywhere, trying to get a picture while they get ready for the match against Australia. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. Follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe, stay warm. Good night.
love world, we love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Fong, a student Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Osnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm a curator from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on